Well, for some analysis of the situation in the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine, I'm joined here on set by our international affairs editor, Philip Turle. Hi, Philip. Now, we saw there, of course, purportedly Ukrainian incursion onto Russian territory. How embarrassing is that for the Kremlin?
I think it's a huge embarrassment for the Kremlin because Vladimir Putin is trying to put over this image as a man who's in control, and this so-called special military operation, as the Russians call it, is reported in the media as being on track. So what they don't want is attacks against Russia coming from Ukraine. That is, I think, also a reason for the Russian leadership to become a little bit more anxious about what else the Ukrainians could do. From the Ukrainian side, if the Ukrainians admit to having done it, we've sort of got these rather unclear messages coming out of the Ukrainian Air Force, as you were just showing in that report, saying what happened, as though they were rubbing their hands with glee over the attack on these two bases yesterday. The question now is, how much further can Ukraine go? And I think what it shows is that two things. First, the Ukrainian military is not scared of launching attacks into Russia. And secondly, it has the means to do that, which means that it's receiving the support from the West. It's receiving the support from the European Union, from the United States for its military. And that is enabling it to be able to launch these strikes into Russian territory. And it was only a question of time before the Ukrainians would start to do that, because they're trying now to push back against Russia. They're on the upper foot on the ground in Ukraine. So it was only really a question of time before they actually got to the point where they could start firing missiles into Russia and causing damage there.
Now, you mentioned that important notion of control, or at least the appearance of control for Vladimir Putin. Would that be why we've seen the Russian president on the Crimea bridge in a rare appearance there?
Yeah, I think two things yesterday as well. The first one was that he held a Security Council meeting in Russia, which normally is only held on a Friday. That was an emergency meeting. Many people saying it was obviously a result of these attacks that had happened against these military air bases in Russia. And the second one, these images of President Putin driving a vehicle across the bridge between Russia and Ukraine, this bridge which is really a symbol of Russia and its territory, as it sees it, of Crimea. And Vladimir Putin trying to give over the impression to the Russian people that whatever's going on the ground, he is the man who's in control and he is the man who is making the right decisions as far as the Ukrainian war is concerned. There are voices, I think, who are beginning to be risen about the fact that may not be the case.
Vladimir Putin quite literally at the wheel, if those images are to be believed. Philip Turle, thank you very much for that.